Okay, so today we are here to do my 2025 goals and look through those and see if we've met those, wrap that up, and then we will start looking into 2026 in my happy planners. And these look a lot different because this is the big and this is the classic. I've decided to move down to a classic for 2026. So let's set that aside and let's take away the glare off of this planner. Sorry about that. I'll get my pen here. So let's see. I think I have my goals in the back here. Let's take a look. Maybe it was back kind of. Where is it? Oh no, sorry. Okay. Okay. So let's use a highlighter here. I will highlight the things that I can honestly say without a doubt that I 100% hit. And I have a feeling that that is not going to be a lot of things that I'm highlighting. And the thing about setting overall goals is it can be discouraging because things in life change and life shifts. And so sometimes your focus shifts and therefore goals are not met. So that's why one of the things I want to do in 2026 is look at things at a month to month because life is ever changing. So first and foremost, I will say the first one here, pay off debt by my 39th birthday in July, which was a stretch goal. I remember when I was setting up my goals that really, based on how things were going, it was about September, October of 2025 of paying off debt. And like, I really was like, okay, stretch goal, paid off by my 39th birthday, which July obviously is much sooner than September, October. So my birthday is end of July and I ended up paying off all of my debt before my 39th birthday. So at age 38, I paid it off July 10th. So this 100% gets a highlight. And I am so super proud of this. I was so intentional, so focused, and I think maybe that's why I didn't accomplish some things that I had set out to do, because sometimes I can get super, what's the word I want to do? Like I have my horse blinders on sometimes, and it's hard to get other things done. Okay, and so to be debt-free in 2025, well, this is a hard one to say because while yes, that is true, I did take on more debt. So, but the debt that I took on was with intentionality. So I will highlight this. If you haven't watched my last video, I will link that. But yeah, I revealed something in that, and then I'll go into more detail in 2026 of those numbers. But I did, with intention, purchase a car. So started increasing my 401k contribution. So I was kind of having the thought process of like Dave Ramsey. I don't have a lot in my paychecks that I get as it is. And so to increase what I was bringing home so that I could focus to debt, I was contributing nothing. And at some point I upped it to 1%. Technically, my company gives a company match of 6%. I won't go into the nuances of how that works, but at one point I did start increasing it. So really in 2025, I started off much of the year at 0%, and then I increased it to 1% because I was like, okay, let's not go too hardcore Dave Ramsey here. Let's at least contribute a little bit of something. So technically, yes, I will say, though, since I've intentionally taken on more debt, I just bumped that down to 1% again. So fully fund emergency fund. I did not meet that goal. There's no question about it. I'm not highlighting anything with that. So I have $6,000 in parentheses because I already had $1,000 towards that goal. Then Joe needed to borrow the money. I'm still counting that I have 1,000 saved. He's just paying me back. I've recouped some of that $1,000 back, but there's still more to go on that. But basically, the additional 5,000, I thought, like, once I pay off my car, I'm gonna pay off my car. Once I pay off all of my debt, which all of my debt was, I'll get more into details of that, but I think it ended up really mostly being personal loan and student loans that I was down to. I might be wrong. There might be one other debt, perhaps, that I still had in 2025. But so at the time, the thought was I'll be debt free and then I can focus on fully funding my emergency fund. But things changed and I pivoted. So therefore, I did not meet that goal. Start saving for a wedding. Yes, I did. I paused as of recent, but I did start this goal. As a matter of fact, let's take a look at how much we have saved. Okay, so wedding. So this money is in my high yield savings, which is what this represents. So I have 600 in my high yield savings. And then I have 600, 700, 800, 900, 1,000, 1,050, 1,100, 1,150, 1,200. So I have $1,200 towards wedding. Joe was laid off right before Thanksgiving, so our wedding may not actually be happening. It's so hard to say in this economy right now that for sure we're going to get married in fall of 2026. I genuinely don't know the answer to that. Okay, so read 6 books definitely did not happen. Down here I have, and I'll get into more so of why that did not happen. But the books that I did read were How to End a Love Story. That was finished in April of 2025. And then Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover, which I didn't know there was controversy with Colleen Hoover until recently. So that's kind of crazy, but I finished that this month in December. I did start reading a 3rd book. So I'm into my 3rd book, but I definitely did not meet that goal. Move more. Get 7K plus steps 4 out of the 7 days. Did not hit that. I have not actually been diligently tracking, but obviously I had health goals in 2025, but yeah, I did not focus on that. Apparently mentally I was not ready. So I will not be highlighting that. I genuinely can't answer that, but if I'm honest with myself, I can say without a shadow of a doubt that I can't say that that was happening 4 out of 7 days. It probably wasn't happening a lot at all, to be quite honest with you. Low buy year. Use up products before buying more. See list for details. And I have my list down here. I'm going to say that I met that. I'll go through the list with you all, but I would say that I hit that. The goal. There was a snafu with the one product, but I'll explain that. But on my list here, I had dry shampoo, Bath and Body Works body soap, no more body lotions, facial moisturizer, mascara, chapstick, lipstick, eyeshadow, foundation, candles, pens, notebooks / journals. I may have listed writing out some of my empties, but I will go through those. So empties from the above list were a Bath and Body soap at some point. Forgot to track the date. Then another Bath and Body soap in March 21st. I used a pen to completion March 26th. That's so funny that I actually tracked the dates. Living Proof dry shampoo April 28th. I used up a tube of mascara September 6th. Facial moisturizer, I didn't write the exact date, but I used that up October 2025. And then there was another Kristen S dry shampoo that I used up October 2025. So these were products I already had going into 2025 that I used up. So I had dry shampoo on the list because I had a back stock of products, and it's like, okay, Allison, stop buying, because sometimes it's like, oh, cool, there's this product. I'm interested in trying that instead of just using what you already own. So the idea of like building up stocks, so you don't have to worry about it later. Yeah, that's all fine and good, unless like you just keep buying new stuff. The whole point is like with your back stock is to actually use it instead of just like letting it sit. I had a snafu with the Bath and Body soap. So I think it was actually in the fall when this happened. I did technically buy a Bath and Body soap, but that's because Bath and Body works. It was my mistake, but I wanted to explain why. So they have deals on their app, and I thought I had a deal. No, I did have a deal where I was able to get a free product. But little did I know, their expiration on those deals ends at some weird hour of the day. So here I thought I had all day to use that deal. And technically the deal expired, what was it, like 6 a.m. or something silly. It's like, why are you making the deal till that time? That's so silly. So, of course, being last minute that I am, I went day of the date that I remembered it being, but I didn't realize that the time was way early in the morning when my eyeballs were closed. So it was one of those situations where I was like too embarrassed to be like, oh shoot, let me put this back. So I just ended up paying for it. So that was my mistake, but I'm still going to count this as low buy. And I should clarify. Oh yeah, I do say that. Use products before buying more. So I still technically have a few soaps left. But yeah, that was definitely my bad. I actually used another pen up. I want to say, I just, as I'm thinking about this, I never wrote it down. So I did buy things since, like, in the month of December, I bought another Living Proof dry shampoo. It had been since April since I use it. And honestly, I have like thinner hair, and just some products are not built the same. So I'm sorry, I gotta say it. Living Proof for me is by far the best. My hair can actually stretch. It doesn't look greasy. And then a cheaper alternative for me is Kristen S. It works for me, but not as well. And that's kind of a bummer. So of course, the one that I absolutely love that works for me is expensive. And it's just like, is it cheaper to just shampoo my hair every day? I don't know. Maybe, because the Living Proof is like 30 plus a bottle. It's crazy. So I did end up buying dry shampoo, but that was because I met the criteria. I used up what I had. Bath and Body soap, explain that. Body lotion. Technically, I did not buy body lotion, but Bath and Body Works has, if you hit the rewards, whatever, they give you free products. So I used my freebie to get lotion. Facial moisturizer. I ran out of facial moisturizer, so I did buy one. And I anticipate that stretching all the way through 2026. Mascara. I use mascara. I still technically have a back stock, but I did technically buy one around September. But I got a tube from my sister. It was like a mini thank you gift when I was house sitting for her at that time. But I did dip into my back stock that I had. I have not opened the one that she bought me, and I wanted a full size of the one that I'm currently using. It's like a sampler size that I pulled out. Mascaras take me a really, really, really long time. So that's going to be on my no buy list for 2026. Chapstick, lipstick. I did not purchase any lipstick. Chapstick, I didn't write it down, but there was one that I did use up completely. So I did have to buy more chapstick. Eyeshadow, I did not purchase. Foundation, I forgot to write it down, but I did use a foundation. It's mostly empty, but I did decide in September when Ulta Beauty's having their sale to buy more, because really, genuinely, I should not have been using that foundation because it was expired and it was not the right shade for me, but I didn't want to waste money. So that I was allowing myself, like, well, no, technically you should buy a new foundation because it's expired and it doesn't work for you. So, and also September, it was a gift to myself because I had gotten out of debt. I was debt free. Candles, I did not purchase. Pens, I did not purchase. Notes and journals, I did not purchase. Okay. So moving on. Be more productive on weekends. Make a checklist to complete for each weekend. I will say I did not complete that. I did not complete that, and it has to do with a goal that I'm going to set for myself in 2026. So I'll just talk about that more then. So that is a no. Like, to be honest, no. Declutter, list more on selling apps. I did. I wish I could have sold more, but ooh, whoa, that was crazy. Okay, apparently that was loose. It like went up into itself. Did you see that? So I want to be more proactive. Ooh, I'm starting to get, what the heck? Oh, that was so weird. How did I do that? Yeah, this is drying up. I should probably put the cap on it. Oh, it was just that part. I thought the thing was going up into itself, but no, it was just the thing. Oh my God. I feel like such a spaz, so I apologize. Tracking my eating and contact my coach. No. Nope. Because like I said earlier, I should have put those closer together. Fitness ended up not being on my mind. I tracked my food occasionally, but not enough to give myself, yeah, you accomplish this. Startup weight loss channel. Technically, yes. So I had a channel that went dormant. I used to have a YouTube channel where I was tracking my weight loss journey for many, many years. Like, I've been a yo-yoer. I've had an ED in the past, and like through when I was using Weight Watchers back in the day, really it ended up being, I was at 1,200 calories for 10 plus years of like yo-yoing. And so metabolic adaptation happened, and I was no longer able to lose on that, because when you're tracking points, you have no idea of what your calories are that you're consuming. So I ended up having metabolic adaptation. And, so prior to July 2023, I was actually working with a nutritionist and starting to eat better and like getting that stuff back on track and stuff like that. But I did not contact her in 2025. I technically have some sessions available left with her. I had to pause because of a health issue that happened. And if you've been following me, you know what that is. But anyways, I technically did start up the channel early 2025, and I did maybe 2 total videos. I'll link that. My goals and focus are changing in 2026, so I hope to actually utilize that channel more. So hopefully. Let's take a look. So those are the goals, and I've highlighted a few, so that's great. Let's look at the trackers, because honestly I kind of forget. I haven't looked at these trackers in a while. Let's see. I can go back here more. Okay. So apparently, okay, that is all that it was. So my lending club loan, when I started my tracker, let's see where we were at. It's in here, which means I had the loan in 2025. Let's do this. Okay, so my first tracking, where is it? My first tracking was January 9th. So let's just say here. So my last payment in 2024, my balance was $4,811.75. So that got paid off in April. And then the next debt was student loans. So My last official payment in December of 2024, my balance was at $4,993.92. And so then I paid that debt off. I clearly stopped writing because I was like, whatever, zero balance. But July 10th was the payoff date. And I'm going to focus on this, but this is the debt that I took on. The balance was technically about $27,000, but I purchased a Mazda, but we'll focus on that more in 2026. All right, I'm going to stop here because this video ended up getting longer than I planned. In my next planner video, I'll be setting up my 2026 goals in my new 2026 Happy Planner. So make sure you are subscribed and I will see you there.